Power is never given. It is taken seized in silence while others cling to illusions of fairness. You were taught to wait your turn, to be kind, reasonable, to play by rules someone else wrote. But the world was never fair. It was only dressed in the appearance of fairness, a costume stitched by those who already held the reins. Behind every law, a shadow. Behind every virtue, an interest. The truth is that those who rise are not those who obey, but those who understand when to bend, when to feign obedience, and when to strike. You want justice. But justice is not a force in the world. It is a story we tell to keep others calm while the ambitious act. There are those who believe in the purity of ideals. They are often the first to be discarded when the game turns violent, the first to be betrayed when alliances collapse. They die thinking they were righteous. But history does not reward righteousness. It rewards results. Power is a mirror. It shows you what you are willing to become. Most turn away. They want comfort, not clarity. But those who can bear the reflection, who can walk through their own shadow and use it, they are the ones who command. The state is not a church. It does not require saints. It requires architects of necessity, men and women who understand that survival is not a right, but a skill. That order is not born from love, but from fear, and that to lead is not to serve morality, but to master perception. Control is not seized through violence alone. The whip is crude. The mind is sovereign. Influence does not shout. It whispers through systems, symbols, and silence. The most dangerous ruler is the one who never raises their voice, only the temperature of the room. People do not follow truth. They follow strength dressed as certainty. They crave the illusion of safety, even if it means surrendering their freedom. What they fear most is not tyranny, but chaos. The wise ruler learns to walk that edge to manufacture calm, even as he prepares the blade. Never beg loyalty. Inspire it, command it, or fabricate it, but never beg. Those who follow you out of sentiment will abandon you when sentiment fades. Those who fear losing your favor will serve even when they resent you. Sentiment is fragile. Power is patient. There will come moments when betrayal looks like the only rational move. Understand this. Loyalty is not the absence of betrayal. It is the management of expectations. A ruler does not prevent treachery. He predicts it, channels it, uses it. The court is a theater. Every throne is surrounded by actors flattering, spying, calculating. They smile not out of love, but out of instinct. They watch your hands more than your eyes. And so you must learn to perform, not sincerely, but strategically. Reveal just enough to create trust. Conceal just enough to maintain control. Compassion is not forbidden, but it must be disciplined. You may feel deeply, but never act impulsively. Every act of kindness must serve a calculation. If it doesn't, it's not kindness. It's weakness dressed in good intentions. War is not always fought with armies. Sometimes it is waged through narrative. Control the story, and you control memory. Control memory, and you erase rivals not with assassins, but with time. The forgotten cannot rebel. You were told to be authentic, but authenticity is only useful when curated. Truth is a weapon too, and it must be sheathed until it serves a purpose. Do not confuse honesty with transparency. The most effective leaders are opaque, revealing truths like poison, one drop at a time. The world punishes those who show their full hand. It rewards those who learn the game, but pretend they don't. Appear modest when you are ambitious. Appear confused when you are plotting. Appear reluctant when you are ready to strike. Most rulers fall not from outside threats, but from inside illusions. They begin to believe their own image, to trust flattery, to mistake ritual for control. They forget that the palace rests on the edge of a blade, and the mob remembers. You must never sleep. Not fully. Power demands vigilance. The price of control is the constant evaluation of everyone and everything. Friendships must be monitored. Advisors must be tested. Family must be measured. Trust, if given, must be provisional, never absolute. Cynicism is not a flaw, it is armor. It does not mean hating humanity, it means understanding its patterns. People are not evil, nor good, they are fluid. They respond to structure, to fear, to reward, to status. Structure them well, and they become predictable. Chaos is not the enemy. Chaos is the proving ground. In collapse, the ambitious rise. In uncertainty, the prepared conquer. You must learn to smile in turbulence not because you enjoy it, but because you anticipated it. Never mistake stability for permanence. Every system decays. Every institution erodes. The wise leader plans not just for rule, but for succession. Power is not a possession, it is a motion, a transfer. Secure the next movement, or be consumed by the stagnation. Public virtue is performance. Private virtue is discretion. Blend the two, and you become untouchable. Let them believe you are benevolent. Let them praise your wisdom. But make every move as if the knife were already at your throat. To survive is not enough. You must adapt. You must evolve. Power is not won once. It is won again, and again, and again, in every room, with every choice, in the way you stand, speak, pause. Appearances are not superficial. They are signals. Uniforms, architecture, titles, rituals. These are not ornaments. They are instruments. They frame perception. They sedate rebellion. They teach obedience before a single word is spoken. Weakness is not a condition. It is a signal, and signals invite predators. Never display weakness unless it is bait, and even then, prepare the trap well. What matters is not how you are judged now, but whether you endure long enough to write the judgment yourself. The world is not fair. It never was, but it is structured, and structure can be studied, shaped, manipulated. Do not seek fairness. Seek advantage. Seek insight. Seek timing. The just are rarely powerful, but the discerning, the cold and clear, they shape the course of empires. Play to win, not to be seen as worthy. Do not try to be loved by all. That is the desire of those who fear loneliness more than irrelevance. Accept that leadership isolates. The higher you climb, the quieter it becomes, and the more honest the silence. Let others chase applause. You build systems. You build memory. You build fear when necessary, and love when useful. And when your time comes to descend, do not beg to be remembered as good. Be remembered as necessary, as the one who held the line when others faltered, as the one who chose reality over sentiment, as the one who understood. To play fair in an unfair world is not noble. It is suicidal. If you wish to govern, you must first govern yourself, not your impulses, for they will betray you in moments of heat, but your image, your voice, your silences. The ruler's greatest weapon is not the sword, but the patience to let others reveal themselves. Every man carries within him the seeds of his own ruin. You need only create the conditions for them to germinate. Do not rush to punish. Observe. Let ambition swell in your rivals until it blinds them. Let their eagerness become their undoing. The art of rule is often the art of waiting for your enemies to make the first mistake, and when they do, strike so decisively that no second blow is required. Understand that cruelty is not a sin if it is precise. A single well-placed cruelty can prevent 100 future rebellions. The naive imagine that mercy wins hearts, but too much mercy invites contempt. A ruler must know when to wound and when to heal, and never confuse the two. Fear is the soil in which authority takes root. Love is a fragile flower. It blooms in spring and dies in winter. Fear endures all seasons, but fear must be managed, not unleashed like a wildfire. Terror that burns indiscriminately will consume even the throne. Terror that is measured, that whispers of consequences without always showing them, will hold the structure together. You will be told that trust builds strength. This is only half true. Trust, unchecked, builds complacency. Complacency breeds betrayal. You must trust others only to the extent that it serves your interests, and even then, never fully. The ruler walks alone, even in the most crowded court. Confidants will smile as they sharpen daggers behind the curtain. Lovers will whisper devotion as they calculate their escape. Advisors will counsel caution as they plot to replace you. Treat all alliances as temporary. Treat all friendships as transactions. This is not cynicism, it is clarity. Clarity will keep you alive when sentiment would see you dead. Do not believe that order arises naturally. Order is a construct. It must be enforced, maintained, displayed. Symbols are as powerful as armies. Flags, ceremonies, monuments, titles, these are not empty pageantry. They are anchors for the imagination of the masses. People do not obey because they understand. They obey because they believe. Belief is a fragile thing. If you do not provide it, another will. Your enemy's ideas are more dangerous than their soldiers, because soldiers can be killed, but ideas can live on in whispers and grow into revolutions. Guard the narrative as fiercely as you guard the gates. Never mistake the applause of the crowd for loyalty. The same voices that cheer your name today will cry for your blood tomorrow if the winds shift. Popularity is a current, fickle and unsteady. Respect is the bedrock. Fear is the iron buried beneath it. To be respected, you must appear strong even when you are not. To be feared, you must appear inevitable. Never let them see hesitation. Never let them sense weakness. In the theater of power, appearance is substance. A faltering voice, an unsteady hand, an ill-timed smile, these betray more than your enemies could ever extract through torture. A ruler's downfall often begins in his victories. Success intoxicates. It convinces you that the world bends to your will, that fortune smiles only on you. This is the most dangerous illusion of all. Fortune is a fickle mistress. She abandons those who cling to her too tightly and rewards those who are bold enough to seize her when opportunity arises. Do not rely on her favors. Build systems so that even when fortune turns, your power does not collapse with her. You will hear of virtue as a guiding light, but virtue is a word wielded by those who lack power to chain those who seek it. True virtue, for a ruler, is utility. A virtuous act is one that preserves the state, strengthens your hand, and prevents chaos. All else is vanity. If you must lie, lie skillfully. If you must betray, betray cleanly. If you must kill, kill decisively, and leave no trace of hesitation. There is no honor in ruin. There is no dignity in defeat. Survival is the highest honor. Victory is the only dignity. Learn to read faces. Eyes lie, but patterns do not. Observe how men move when they are confident, how they shrink when afraid, how they overcompensate when they scheme. The court is a chessboard where every pawn imagines himself a king. Your task is not only to see the pieces, but to understand the players, their hungers, their fears, their weaknesses. Use these not cruelly for its own sake, but purposefully, as a sculptor uses his tools. You are shaping not only individuals, but the entire architecture of loyalty and obedience. Remember, every day you reign is a day closer to your fall. Rule with this in mind, and you will not be caught unprepared. Rule as if tomorrow the mob will storm the palace and drag you into the square. Rule as if every whisper in the hallways conceals a plot. This is not paranoia. This is prudence. Paranoia is fear without clarity. Prudence is fear sharpened into strategy. History does not remember intentions. It remembers outcomes. You may wish to be good, but if your goodness leads to ruin, you will be cursed as a fool. You may wish to be loved, but if your love weakens the state, you will be despised even in memory. Strength is what they will respect, even if they hate you, and hate fades. Order remains. The world does not demand fairness. It demands competence. It does not reward innocence. It rewards calculation. And so you must abandon the hope of playing fair. You are not in a game. You are in a struggle for command over forces that would tear you apart if you falter. Fairness is a luxury of those who have no skin in the fight. Do not confuse stillness for peace. Peace is only the pause between storms. Even as you rest, others are scheming. Even as you trust, others are testing the walls. The ruler who grows comfortable grows weak. Comfort softens the edge. Softness invites the blade. The world is not cruel. It is indifferent. Nature does not care if the lamb is innocent. It feeds the wolf all the same. You must decide. Are you willing to become the wolf, or will you remain the lamb that pleads for fairness until its throat is cut? You are not here to be fair. You are here to endure, to command, to shape the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. There is no fairness in survival, only necessity. And if you cannot accept that, then you will not survive long enough to matter. There is no mercy in the mechanics of power, only motion forward or downward, ascent or collapse. Those who hesitate are consumed not by a single grand betrayal, but by 1,000 tiny concessions, each justified in the name of peace, each paving the road to their own destruction. Do not mistake compromise for stability. A ruler may bend, but he must never be seen to bend. Appear flexible in counsel, but unyielding in command. Yield too visibly, and you teach others that your will is negotiable. And once they believe they can negotiate your power, they will begin to chip at it piece by piece, until there is nothing left but the hollow shell of your authority. The masses crave certainty more than they crave truth. They would rather follow a confident liar than an honest man who doubts himself. Certainty is a sedative. It calms fears and quiets questions. Do not squander it. Speak in absolutes when possible. Offer no room for hesitation in your words, even if doubt gnaws at you in private. Your doubts are your own burden to carry. They are not for public consumption. To show them is to invite challengers who smell blood in the water. Fear is not the only instrument of control, but it is the most reliable. Yet fear alone is brittle. Too much of it and men will rebel. Too little, and they grow insolent. It is the careful balance, enough fear to deter treachery, enough favor to inspire service that sustains dominion. The ruler who leans too far in either direction courts ruin. You must be both predator and shepherd, feared enough to command respect, and yet respected enough to avoid the desperate fury of cornered prey. Never announce your plans. Conceal them beneath layers of ambiguity and false signals. Let others guess at your intentions while you act in silence. A ruler's strength lies in unpredictability. If they cannot predict you, they cannot prepare for you. Reveal only enough to bait their calculations, then strike where they least expect. Wars are won not by superior force alone, but by superior deception. The battlefield begins long before the army's march. It begins in the minds of those you seek to outmaneuver. You may think allies will save you. They will not. Alliances are made of paper and ink. The ambitions of men are made of iron and fire. Treat every ally as a potential rival, every rival as a potential ally, and every man as one who could betray you under the right conditions. It is not hatred that breeds betrayal, but opportunity. Your task is to close those opportunities, to ensure that betrayal appears so costly and loyalty so profitable that even the most treacherous hesitate. Ruthlessness is not the absence of feeling, it is the discipline of feeling. You may grieve for what you must do, but do it nonetheless. Sentiment is private, statecraft is public. Never let one contaminate the other. To hesitate because of your own heart is to sacrifice the hearts of all who depend on your rule. A ruler who weeps over a single life may lose 10,000 more when his kingdom falls to disorder. Most rulers are undone not by external enemies but by those closest to them. Family, lovers, advisors. These are the ones who stand nearest when the blade is drawn. Keep them close enough to watch, but never so close that they believe they are indispensable. No one must ever feel irreplaceable. Replace them before they believe they cannot be replaced. Rotate favorites, promote rivals, distribute power in fragments so that no one faction grows bold enough to challenge you. Divide not only to weaken, but to control. The people want to believe in benevolence, but they obey strength. So give them symbols of benevolence, gestures to soothe their fears, and spectacles to distract their minds. Bread and circuses are ancient tools, yet eternally effective. Feed their hunger for stories, for rituals, for enemies to blame, and heroes to adore. It is easier to govern those who are entertained than those who are restless, and it is easier still to govern those who believe they chose their submission. Remember that time erodes even the strongest fortresses. Today's victories are tomorrow's myths, and myths fade unless they are cultivated. Guard your legacy as fiercely as your life. Build monuments, shape narratives, write history in your own favor while you still have the pen in your hand. The dead have no voice, but the ruler who plans well speaks even from the grave. Power is not an achievement. It is a condition that must be maintained. It decays the moment you relax, like iron exposed to air. The throne is not a seat. It is a knife's edge. To stay atop it requires constant vigilance, constant adaptation, constant readiness to discard yesterday's methods for today's necessities. The laws of survival do not pause because you are weary. You may tire of the game, but the game does not tire of you. Do not mistake resignation for wisdom. The moment you surrender to fatigue, others will sense it and move against you. If you can no longer rule with clarity and force, leave on your own terms rather than being dragged into the street. A ruler who departs willingly controls the stage of his exit. A ruler who clings until the end becomes a cautionary tale. But if you have the strength to persist, do so with eyes open and nerves of iron. Do so knowing that leadership is a burden, not a gift. That to rule is to carry not only your ambitions, but the weight of all who depend on you. And that in this burden lies a paradox. The ruler must seem unshakable even as he is shaken, immortal even as he bleeds, inevitable even as he plans his own succession. You are not here to be liked. You are here to endure. You are here to shape the future, to impose order on chaos, to do what others cannot or will not. If you seek fairness, you will be broken. If you seek comfort, you will be consumed. If you seek survival, you may yet hold the reins long enough to matter. And in the end, that is all there is. The will to command, the strength to endure, and the clarity to see the world as it is not as you wish it to be. Every day you hold power, you must remind yourself, no one truly loves the ruler. They love what he provides, what he protects, what he represents. But love tied to provision is not loyalty. It is transaction. The moment you can no longer give, the moment you falter, that love dissolves like mist at dawn. Those who clung to you will vanish, and those who envied you will circle like wolves tasting blood. Do not resent this. It is not betrayal. It is nature. To expect anything else is to misunderstand the human heart. Human nature does not change. It adapts to circumstances. It masks itself in culture and ideology. But beneath the masks lie the same desires, the same fears, the same hunger for status and survival that shaped tribes and kingdoms millennia ago. The modern world is no different, only the tools have changed. Where once the dagger and poison did their work in shadows, today character assassination and manufactured scandals bleed a ruler dry in public. The wise leader understands this and prepares his armor accordingly, building reputations resilient to slander and networks too strong to dismantle with mere words. The masses want to believe in fairness because it soothes them. They cling to the myth that justice governs the world, that virtue triumphs, that honesty is rewarded. A ruler cannot afford such illusions. Justice is not a force. It is a tool, wielded by those who hold power to shape outcomes in their favor. Virtue does not triumph on its own. It survives only when coupled with strength and cunning. Honesty is not rewarded. It is exploited by rivals until the honest man stands stripped and broken. To understand this is not to reject morality entirely, but to recognize that morality serves politics, not the other way around. Appearances are more real than reality in the theater of power. You may have strength, but if they do not perceive it, it is as though it does not exist. You may have plans, but if they sense your hesitation, your plans crumble before they are enacted. You may intend benevolence, but if they suspect cruelty, they will resist you as if you were already a tyrant. Learn this lesson early. Perception shapes reality. Cultivate an image of inevitability. Let them believe that resistance is futile, that your authority is as natural as the sun's rise. If they come to see you as the foundation of their world, they will defend you even against their own interests. Never reveal your full hand. Mystery multiplies power. If they cannot read you, they cannot anticipate you. If they cannot anticipate you, they cannot outmaneuver you. The moment they believe they understand you completely is the moment they will begin to plot. Therefore, give them fragments of yourself, enough to inspire confidence, but never enough to lay you bare. A ruler must be both visible and unknowable, present yet distant, feared yet admired. Balance these contradictions, and you will hold them all in your grasp. The art of governance is not about doing everything yourself. It is about making others believe they act for their own benefit while serving yours. Delegation is not weakness, it is multiplication. But delegation must be done with precision. Too much, and you lose control. Too little, and you exhaust yourself in trivialities. Appoint ministers and generals. Give them authority, but keep them divided. Allow no one to accumulate power equal to yours. Divide loyalties. Encourage rivalries, so that each depends on you to keep the others in check. A unified court is dangerous. A divided court is manageable. You will not have the luxury of purity. You will have to deceive, to manipulate, to use fear as a lever and loyalty as a currency. Do not recoil from this. Purity is for the powerless, for those who wish only to be praised without achieving. Leadership demands dirty hands. If this repels you, step aside. Let others bear the burden and accept whatever order or chaos they impose. But if you stay, if you choose to rule, then do it without apology. Do it knowing that to command is to wound and to heal in the same breath, to bring peace with one hand and prepare war with the other. Those who rise too quickly often fall just as fast. Ambition without discipline burns bright and then burns out. Do not confuse speed with strength. Power built slowly, layer by layer, is harder to topple. Move incrementally, conceal your progress, and let each small victory seem accidental. The moment you appear too ambitious, you awaken the fears of others. Let them underestimate you until it is too late to stop your ascent. No throne is eternal. You will age, you will weaken. The hands that now salute you will someday lower you into the ground. Think beyond yourself. A wise ruler plans for succession not out of sentiment, but out of necessity. If you do not shape what comes after, your enemies will. The legacy you leave is the final battle you fight. Win it, and even in death, you will govern from the shadows. Lose it, and all your triumphs will crumble into dust. This is the architecture of power, fear and favor, division and unity, illusion and reality, necessity and choice. The ruler who masters these survives. The ruler who does not is devoured. You cannot play fair in an unfair world. The game is older than you, older than kingdoms, older than civilization itself. It rewards cunning. It punishes weakness. It does not care if you are good. It cares only if you endure. So ask yourself, do you want to be remembered as virtuous or as necessary? Do you want to be loved for a moment or feared for an age? Do you want to play fair and perish or shape the world and survive? Because the world will not change its rules for you. And if you will not play the game will play you. Then listen closely. The end always comes. For every ruler, for every empire, for every man who ever imagined himself immortal. It comes not with trumpets or banners, but with silence. The silence of a room emptied of allies, of voices that once called your name now speaking it in whispers, of footsteps echoing down corridors that no longer belong to you. The throne that seemed unshakable becomes a relic. The hand that once signed decrees trembles. The face in the mirror no longer inspires fear. This is the truth no one tells you at the beginning. Power is borrowed. It is never truly owned. It flows through you for a time, shaping the world in your image until it finds another vessel. You are its custodian, not its master. The game outlives every player. But if you have ruled well, if you have understood that love fades and fear endures, that appearances are stronger than reality, that necessity outweighs morality, then you may leave behind something more enduring than yourself. A system, a memory, a shadow so vast that even in your absence it governs. They will curse you, they will praise you, but they will never forget you. Do not seek to be good, seek to be necessary. Do not ask to be loved, ask only to be obeyed. And when your time comes to fall, as it will fall, knowing you held the line, that you shaped the world not as it ought to be, but as it is, that you carried the burden others feared to lift. This is the ruler's curse, to be alone, to be mistrusted, to be feared. But it is also the ruler's freedom, the freedom to see the world without illusions, to act without apology, to endure when others falter. So stop playing fair in an unfair world. Fairness is a story for children and the conquered. If you would survive, you must play as the world plays, with cunning, with patience, with unflinching clarity. In the end, they will not remember you as kind. They will not remember you as cruel. They will remember you as inevitable,